How do you think Elon Musk became rich? Most people say Tesla. Some people say SpaceX. The answers are wrong. Before Elon ever sat in a Tesla, before he ever talked about going to Mars, he already had $180 million sitting in his bank account from companies most people have never heard of. And when I learned this, it completely changed how I thought about wealth, because we always thought to see the final act, right? The rockets, the Cybertrucks, the Twitter dramas, but we completely miss the pattern that got him there, right? And once you see this pattern, you will realize building wealth isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's not even about working those crazy 100-hour weeks. Okay, it's about understanding one very specific thing about how wealth actually compounds. Let me walk you through it, all right? Here's what I noticed after spending years studying about how billionaires actually build their wealth. They all follow the same cycle. Build businesses, create cash flow, create a capital event, use the capital for the next bigger business, repeat. They don't just build one company and coast on the profits. Instead, they turn their businesses into what I call capital events, right? That's when you sell a company. That's when you take it public through an IPO. Something that converts all those years of building into one massive lump sum. And then you take that capital and build something even bigger, okay? Each cycle doesn't just add wealth, it multiplies it. Not linear growth from 100,000 to 200,000 to 300,000. It's exponential. 100,000 to 500,000 to 2 million to 10 million. And here's what most people don't understand. Cash flow and capital are two completely different things. Cash flow is your monthly income, your salary, your dividends. It keeps the lights on, right? It pays for your lifestyle. One single capital event can generate more wealth than 20 years of savings in your salary. Billionaires understand this distinctively. They engineer capital events in their own paths. So let me show you exactly how, using Elon's real story. Okay, take yourself back to 1995. Elon was just 24 years old, all right, fresh out of university, not a millionaire yet, okay, a bit gay, okay, and just a guy with an idea and about 28,000 borrowed from his father. He started a company called Zip2. Now, if I told you what Zip2 actually did, you'd fall asleep. Basically, it was an online directory for newspapers. That's it. Okay, nothing sexy, nothing revolutionary, just functional. But Elon and his brother worked hard on this thing and they lived in their office. Elon showered in the YMCA because he couldn't afford an apartment. 4 years for this, 4 years of sleeping on the floor, eating instant noodles, building a boring directory business, and in 1999 comes around, Compaq buys Zip2 for $307 million. Elon walks away with 22 million and he's only 28 years old. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What would you do if you have $22 million at 28 years old? Right? Be honest. Most of us would buy a nice house, nice car, take a year off, travel, finally relax after 4 years of showering at the gym. I would have done exactly the same. But Elon takes 10 million of that money and immediately starts his next company, PayPal. He's not thinking I've made it and now I can retire. He's thinking I just unlocked enough capital to play a much bigger game. 3 years later, in 2002, eBay buys PayPal for 1.5 billion. And Elon's share, 180 million dollars. And he's only 31 years old. Right? Did he stop there? No. He takes out 100 million out of the 180 million and splits it between Tesla, SpaceX, and Solar City. His friends thought he has lost his mind. You have 180 million. Buy an island. Why are you risking everything on electric cars and rockets? But here's what they didn't understand. Elon wasn't gambling. He was just following the exact pattern he already used twice. Capital events, building bigger businesses. Capital events, building even bigger businesses. Tesla goes public in 2010. His stake now becomes worth billions. SpaceX raises capital on a higher and higher valuation, more billions. By the time he's 50, he's the richest person on the planet. And it wasn't because he worked harder than anyone else. Plenty of people work hard. It was because he understood how to turn cash flow into capital. Then turn capital into bigger cash flow over and over again. It's a pattern. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's Elon Musk, once in a generation genius. Okay, doesn't apply to me. But here's the thing. This exact same pattern shows up everywhere once you start looking for it. Bill Gates, he doesn't get rich from running Microsoft month after month. He gets rich when Microsoft goes public in 1986. And that IPO creates 350 million in net worth for him overnight. One capital event. Then he uses the capital to build Microsoft into a $1 trillion company. Robert Kuok, the richest Malaysian in history, started with what? Sugar trading. Built it, sold it, took the capital and bought hotels, right? Built the hotels, sold some, used the capital to expand into palm oil, then shipping, then property. Build capital, whatever. It's the same pattern. Even Tony Fernandes, you know his story, bought a failing airline for 1 ringgit, spent years to turn it around to AirAsia, takes it public. In 2004, the IPO creates hundreds of millions of capital. What does he do? Expands it across Asia, starts his new venture, invests into other businesses, bought a Formula One team that's failed. Now do you see it all? None of these rich people got wealthy with monthly cash flow alone. Those specific moments where years of building suddenly converts into a massive lump sum, which they then use to unlock bigger opportunities. Now, here's what hit me after years of studying this. This pattern is not exclusive to billionaires. You can create your own version of this at your scale in your life. Most Malaysians I meet are stuck in what I call the cash flow trap. They earn their salary every month, 6,000, 8,000, whatever. They save a bit, invest into some unit trusts or dividend stocks, and they repeat the exact same pattern for 30 years. In the end, they're comfortable, but they're not wealthy, never free. Why? Because they spent that whole 30 years focusing on their jobs and cash flow, or even in their business and cash flow, and never creating capital, right? They never had a moment where years of work converted into a lump sum event that changes the entire game. Now, I learned this the hard way after losing 6.5 million ringgit to rebuild everything from zero, right? I realized that you need to be deliberately engineering capital events into your wealth plan. Not just once, not as some distant dream, regularly, every 5 to 10 years. Now, let me show you what it looks like for a normal person. Your first capital event should be at about age 30. You spend your 20s being disciplined, saving up that first 10 to 50,000 ringgit. Right? Now, use that as a down payment on an undervalued property. Do your homework, buy below market value, renovate it. 2 years later, you sell it. After all that cost, you walk away with another 120,000 in profits. Now, that's your first capital event. Now, your second capital event is at the age of 35. Now you know more, you understand more about properties, you understand timing, take that 120,000, add some savings, buy 2 more of the same property, hold them for 3 years, sell them both at a profit for 280,000 ringgit, and then that's your second capital event. Now, if you keep on doing this, your third capital event will come at age 45. By now, you've been building other things, your skills, your network, your knowledge. Maybe you started a side business, consulting in your field, an e-commerce store, whatever matches your expertise. You grow it for 5 years while still working in a job. Then, someone offers to buy it and you walk away with 600,000, your third capital event. Now let's do the maths. By age 45, through these 3 strategic capital events, you've created 1 million cash, right? Worth more than all the jobs that you've been working for the past 30 years, yes? Now compare that to the colleague who just saved 1,000 ringgit every month for those same 15 years, right? Trying to get it off a salary. Maybe they'll make 180,000, maybe 250,000 if they invested conservatively. You now have 1 million. 4 times the wealth, not because you earn 4 times the salary, not because you were 4 times smarter, because you understood how to create capital events. If you want to know how to build 100,000 to 500,000 faster than you thought possible, how to structure your entire financial life in the strategic chapters instead of just grinding away for 30 years, hoping it'll work, I'm running a free workshop that breaks down the entire system step by step. It's called the BYOB webinar. I'll show you the exact framework I'm used to rebuild after losing everything in 2008 and how I created multiple capital events over the next 15 years. Link is in the description below. Once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. And once you start following it, everything changes. So see you there.